Good morning, everyone. So I hope all of you are having a very good start to the day and that Saturday is coming off nicely and you are all very relaxed. So first of all, to all those who are joining us online, my name is Neena Jain and I'm the Secretary General of United Schools Organization of India, USO. And this entire curated webinar series is part of our Smart School series. And the topic for this year that we have selected is AI for everyday learning. Now, first of all, what is the Smart School series? This is an initiative by USO, and it is our aim to equip schools with future ready skills and knowledge. So, what we are going to do is through structured and meaningful engagements, impart that knowledge so that you can use it not just now, but also in your life. So what does it offer? Well, we'll have, this is an entire curation of monthly webinar series, which will be led by experts. What we aim to do is to make sure that you get the practical and real world learning. As has been said even earlier, this is open to all teachers and students because it gives you a very good and broad overview of what artificial intelligence is all about. And of course, as in all our activities, this is a national initiative. And this is part of our Smart School series. Now, I'm sure a lot of you who have participated in our Sparks or, USO at 75, all our schools that are online today might have heard of this. But 75 Sparks is an initiative that we have launched to celebrate 75 years of the existence of our organization. We were established in 1951, and this year is extra special for that purpose. We have been conducting several activities, and you will get to hear of it on social media if you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And as it is through these activities, which are meaningful, and they are, of course, for schools, students, and teachers both, it is just for you to increase awareness on certain issues, which we are trying to highlight. They could be issues of social or global concern, so that some sort of action can be taken. March was one such month wherein we had extracurricular activities. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we did 6 such activities to commemorate certain days as well and to increase awareness on certain issues. And these sparks, they focus on real world themes, as I said. Once again, please join us online, follow our channel so that you will be apprised of all of these. Now, coming back to our webinar series, this is the first webinar in our series. And the topic for today is what is AI and why does it matter in schools? So when it comes schools, it is of course meant for all teachers, students, and school leaders. AI is something that I believe we should all sort of have an idea of what it's about. It's in the news all the time. And this series will help you understand a little bit more about this. So it is our aim not just to teach you AI. What is AI? No, it is also about each of us, learning to use it meaningfully, not just in school, but also in life. And believe me when I say this, that the experts that we bring, we as USO are also going to be learning a lot from this. And we learn how to use it, not just in our activities, but also in life. Now, just to give you an overview of how this will go, for those who are joining us and have not attended earlier webinar series, we normally conduct these series, and it's an annual series. So it starts from April and goes all the way till March 31st. So there are going to be 12 sessions, and each session will have a different topic, which is under the umbrella of artificial intelligence. It will be held on the second Saturday of every month. We are sure several schools have holidays during that time. So a lot of you can log in, and even it is an interactive session. So you can type your questions in the YouTube chat box. It'll be held every second Saturday from 11 to 12. For those of you who might not be able to join us, we will share a link with you so that you can view the video at your leisure. So moving along, we are truly honored to have with us Mr. Nikhil Bimbrahw. He is an expert in AI and data fields and is a management and technology consultant. He has over 20 years of global experience internationally in North America, in Asia, Southeast Asia. And he has held several leadership roles at international organizations such as Deloitte, Accenture, Coforge, and Genpact. So to give you an idea of what got him there, he took an engineering degree from Bangalore University and then later on pursued his MBA from the Vanderbilt University in the US. He also has several certifications. I don't think I know the full form of all of them, but I'll read them out to you. It's PMP, CDIP, CDMP, ITIL, and he has several other such certifications. I believe we were short of space, so we had to consolidate and pick the best four. He also is an advisor and helps USO in our strategic and technical expertise as and when we require it. So another insight that I wish to share with all of you is we, as part of our 75 celebrations, we here at USO are planning on setting up an AI data center, for which Mr. Nikhil Bimbrahw's expertise will help us not just to innovate learning, but also to have a huge impact using technology in all our initiatives. So welcome, Nikhil, sir.
Thank you very much.
So as we start, I believe, Nikhil, sir, we wanted to start with a question.
That's right. So before we get into the details of it, let's first figure out about your familiarity with AI. So how many of you have actually used AI today? Now, if you have been using Google search, or if you have been using YouTube and you've been getting recommendations on YouTube, or maybe you've been using voice assistants like Siri on the Apple iPhone or Google Assistant on the Android, all these are examples of AI in practice. So if you think about Google search, earlier we used to type in the details and we used to get certain links as a response. Now, the first response you get is actually an AI-driven one. So not only does Google apply AI at the back end, it gives you AI-generated content as well. Similarly, YouTube recommendations is dependent upon an algorithmic technique called machine learning. And we'll go into it in a little more detail as we go along. And of course, voice assistants are a key example of how we can convert speech to text.
So what exactly is AI? Is AI not just ChatGPT, which seems to be the common misconception that, since ChatGPT is here, that's exactly what AI is?
So certainly ChatGPT is an example of AI, but if I were to think about it broadly, AI is essentially any application of using data to teach a machine to think and to then assist humans in our activities, in our processes, and to help us make decisions. A key aspect to keep in mind here is that we are giving the machine data that the machine learns from, and then it analyzes it and gives us outputs in a smart manner.
Can you perhaps, if I may request you to put it in simpler terms for the students and teachers to understand, and certainly for us to also understand, because the data and how is it really helping? So if you were to explain it in simpler terms, how would we put that?
Sure. So essentially AI, you should think of it as a smart assistant. You need to get certain things done. You are probably trying to understand a particular topic, and you ask the AI agent. It could be ChatGPT, it could be Google Gemini, it could be Claude, and from Anthropic. You are asking it certain questions and it understands you. It helps you think through the concept by giving you details. And sometimes if you do not understand it in one particular way, it can change its approach and provide you with the same information in a different way. Now, another aspect of AI that we are seeing significantly is the aspect of creation. Not only can you use AI to create text content, but you can also use AI to create audio content, video content, images, so on and so forth. And of course, you can use AI as a counselor or an advisor to help you solve certain problems. As we go deeper into the topic today and continuing through the rest of the year, we will go through multiple examples of how AI can be used for different kinds of applications for both students and teachers.
So AI must have just developed recently because we hear so much about AI, and we are assuming that it has just come up, like, I think between 2 or 4 years ago, there has been a lot of talk of AI. So is it fair to say that, AI is a new phenomenon?
In fact, no. AI has become synonymous with ChatGPT. And this phenomena started in 2023. In fact, in November of 22, the ChatGPT was released for the for the use of the general public. And in starting January of 2023, it became worldwide. It became used worldwide and became extremely popular. And the prime reason for that was because people like you and me could communicate with the AI in using English or using a normal language. But if you think about it, AI has been in development for a number of years. In fact, the term AI was coined in 1956 by Robert McCarthy as part of the Dartmouth Conference. And after that, there was a lot of focus initially on using AI to solve problems and to play games, just to help AI think just like humans do within the constraints of a particular game, so that there are certain business rules that could be followed. Then the focus changed to having AI understand speech. During these initial 30, 40 years, AI went through its ups and downs. And there was also a period that we call as the AI winter, just because even though there were multiple aspirations, the technology was not there yet. And so the value of AI could not be received. Starting in 2000, a lot of companies like Yahoo and Google, in fact, started using AI in the backend to help drive web searches, to help drive product recommendations. And then if you look ahead 10 years down the line, companies like Waymo, companies like Tesla have been, BYD, have been using AI along with sensors, LiDARs, different radars to essentially create technologies like self-driving cars. So helping essentially the system think about a particular activity like driving on the road, just like a human would. Come to 2023, of course, now we have seen a huge democratization of that AI. So it is not necessarily focused on solving specific problems in specific AI industries, but it has become accessible to each and every person like you and me. Because AI has learned how to communicate with us using text, using language. And that is a big step forward in allowing the common people to use AI.
So that's very interesting. To be very honest, I assumed that AI was something that just started a few years ago, and ChatGPT was the forerunner. But it seems like, AI has been around for a very long time, for a good 70 years at least, and in
That's
many
right.
fronts where we didn't recognize it.
That's
So
right.
now, just to tell you what makes it, how is it that we are able to use more AI now than we were in the 70s? Like common people like me, who is not an engineer and doesn't know coding, can also access and use AI, whereas it didn't happen earlier. So how, can you just tell us again how that was to come about?
So if you think about it, when we talk about, again, ChatGPT as synonymous with AI, ChatGPT is actually a large language model. And the reason why we call it a large language model is because it is able to understand languages and it is able to work with words. Now, this is actually a subset of deep learning, which is a subset of machine learning, and which is, in fact, a subset of the broader AI umbrella. Like we said, AI has been out there for a long, long time. If you think about an example like traffic lights, right? Traffic lights are the simplest example of artificial intelligence in play because they use certain rules, business rules, in order to work. So, for example, a traffic light has been asked to stay in green for, let's say, 15 seconds. At the same time, it can be enhanced through additional requirements like using a sensor to identify if there are cars coming in from a different lane and we want to give that precedence. So in a lot of countries, similar systems are applied. Again, that's a very simple form of application of AI, wherein what has been done is that a particular manual system has been made into a smart system by making it autonomous, by giving it the ability to act on its own. Now, as we go deeper into AI, the next version of it is machine learning. This is the part wherein we are teaching the machine how to think like us by giving it certain data. So whenever you think of something like a recommendation engine, whether it be an Amazon or Flipkart where you do shopping, or it could be a YouTube or a shop or any other social media channel that you look at, right? The way it works, the system works, is it identifies patterns of usage of the particular user. So, for example, if I am somebody who loves to eat and I am looking at recommendations of restaurants around me all the time, then the YouTube algorithm knows that I am, that the next time I open up the application, it is better to show me recommendations of new restaurants that have opened up around my house, as an example. Similarly, in Amazon or Flipkart identifies the kind of purchases that we make. So, for example, if it recognizes that I have been buying a packet of tissues every 2 months, then that is built into the learning of the machine. And so every 2 months, it will show me offers for those particular tissues that I typically buy. Now, as we look at the going deeper into the machine learning aspects, we enter into this area that is called deep learning, which really focuses on neural networks as a particular algorithm. Again, there are different types of algorithms. There are hundreds of algorithms in this area. There are classification algorithms, regression algorithms, too many to mention on this particular webinar. But neural networks are a particular type of algorithm which mimics the neural networks in the human brain. So, and through multiple layers of these neural networks, they are able to identify patterns. They are able to learn deeper, just like we do as humans. They are able to form associations and they are able to link that up with memory to identify certain patterns, just like we do in normal day-to-day life. A huge area where deep learning has been implemented has been in the medical area, wherein X-rays, X-ray images have been analyzed in order to identify various diseases. So, for example, identification of lung cancer and even very small aspects of lung cancer can be immediately done using some of these deep learning algorithms. Now, coming back to large language models, this is where again, we call it as GPT. GPT is generative uh, pre-modulated transformer. And the way it works is it identifies, it understands language models, it understands grammar, it understands syntax, it understands semantics, and it understands different accents and flavors of how we talk among each other. It creates models of learning based upon that, and it understands what we are trying to say, and is also able to repeat that and to respond to us using words. Remember, large language models started off based upon only text, but now have evolved to understanding text as well as images. So that means your JPEGs and GIFs. It has evolved to helping us create videos, even analyzing videos, right? So image, audio, text, and video, different forms of how we communicate, how we absorb information about the world around us, is something that even the machines have now been taught how to do. And that is the evolution of how AI, that started off with a simple traffic light or a chess playing game simulator, has now evolved to understanding language, just like you and me.
Nikhil sir, there are a lot of special schools also who have joined us online. So of course, just to give them as well an insight. और आई थिंक रिक्वेस्ट एक और चीज जो आई है यूट्यूब पे वो ये है कि थोड़ा सा हिंदी में भी बता दें। तो अगर हमें ये सब रिकैप करना है इन अ वेरी क्विक 1 मिनट हिंदी में, आप जरा थोड़ा सा रिकैप कर दीजिए। And while you do that, and we are on the topic of LLMs, I think there's a question that has come from a student. Please give an example of a large language model. तो आप पहले वो आंसर कर दीजिए, फिर हिंदी में थोड़ा सा रिकैप कर दीजिए बाकी सब लोगों के लिए, ताकि वो भी समझ सकें।
देखिए, लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल तो आप यूज कर ही रहे हैं। अगर आप चैट जीपीटी यूज करते हैं या गूगल जेमिनाई यूज करते हैं, तो दैट इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल। और जो बात कर रहे हैं, जो प्री ट्रेन ट्रांसफॉर्मर है, जो उसका हार्ट है, जिसके बेसिस पे वो काम करता है, उसका काम यही होता है कि समझना कि आप क्या कह रहे हो। अगर आपने एक सेंटेंस दिया है, तो उस सेंटेंस को ब्रेक डाउन करना, आइडेंटिफाई करना, उसमें से नाउन क्या है, वर्ब क्या है, एडवर्ब क्या है, प्रोपोजिशंस क्या है, आप क्या कहना चाहते हैं, उसका मीनिंग क्या है, उसको समझना। और फिर जो उसने नॉलेज गेन की है, जो उनकी ट्रेनिंग हुई है पूरे इंटरनेट के जितना भी कंटेंट है उसके ऊपर, उससे इंफॉर्मेशन उठाना और फिर आपको ऐसा रिस्पॉन्स देना जो उसको लगता है कि आपको चाहिए। तो लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल उस हिसाब से काम करता है।
तो
जो
सर
उससे ये उसके अलावा अगर हम ऐसी चीजों के साथ काम कर रहे हैं जहां पे लैंग्वेज इन्वॉल्व नहीं है, फॉर एग्जांपल जहां एक्सरेज की बात हो रही है, या पेट स्कैन होता है, या जो ईसीजी वगैरह को हम एनालाइज करते हैं, उन सब में मॉडल को हम सिखाते हैं कि क्या वैल्यूज हैं, क्या पैटर्न होना चाहिए, और क्या ठीक होता है, और क्या किस चीज को हम एबनॉर्मल माने, ताकि उसको आइडेंटिफाई किया जा सके। तो वो होता है डीप लर्निंग। और उससे बड़ा जो होता है मशीन लर्निंग, जिसमें हम मशीन को केवल डेटा दे रहे हैं और हम उसको सिखा रहे हैं कि देखो जी, ये पैटर्न एक ऐसा हो रहा है, इसमें से पैटर्न निकालो, उसमें से समझो कि ये पैटर्न क्या है, कहाँ पे आ रहा है। जैसे आप अगर स्कूल में जाते हैं और आप जब आपके पेरेंट टीचर मीटिंग होती है और आपकी टीचर आपके पेरेंट्स से बोलती है कि देखिए, ये पहले मैथ में कमजोर था, लेकिन 1-2 महीने प्रैक्टिस करने के बाद इसमें काफी इंप्रूवमेंट आई है। तो ये क्या दिख रहा है? ये एक पैटर्न दिख रहा है कि पहले आप एक लेवल पे थे, और जब आपने प्रैक्टिस की तो उसके बाद आपका लेवल इंप्रूव हुआ। तो वैसे ही पैटर्न मशीन समझती है, और पैटर्न समझ के वो उसके हिसाब से एक्ट करती है। इस केस में कॉन्टेक्स्ट बहुत छोटा है। कि आप देखते हैं कि आपने कौन कौन से प्रोडक्ट्स खरीदे और उसके बेसिस पे वो प्रोडक्ट रेकमेंड करेंगे। क्यों? क्योंकि वही अमेजोन का काम है इस केस में, ये फ्लिपकार्ट का काम है। वैसे ही हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो होती है वो अपने हिसाब से मशीन लर्निंग यूज करती है। अगर हम देखें इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, तो इंश्योरेंस कंपनी पैटर्न्स देखती है कि क्लेम्स कैसे आ रहे हैं हमारे पास, या हमारी अंडरराइटिंग कैसे हो रही है। अब मैं जानता हूं कि ये सब वर्ड्स जो है आपके लिए काफी बड़े होंगे, हो सकता है आपको ना समझ आए, इसलिए अभी हम एग्जाम्पल्स के तौर पे वो उदाहरण दे रहे हैं जो आप डे टू डे इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, जो आपको जो हमें लगता है कि स्टूडेंट्स को पता होगा। अगर इसके बावजूद भी अगर आपके कोई सवाल हो और आप किसी चीज के बारे में जानना चाहें तो प्लीज हमें बताइए, और आज नहीं तो अगले सेशन में हम जरूर कवर करेंगे।
So Nikhil sir, एक और example please large language model का। One is chat GPT जो which we are talking about, क्योंकि large language models are those that we can communicate through using words, but chat GPT के अलावा अगर
चैट
और
जीपीटी
कोई
के अलावा
example।
गूगल जेमिनाई है, परप्लेक्सिटी है, आपका क्लॉड है, एंथ्रोपिक का क्लॉड है, और बहुत सारे ऐसे मॉडल हैं जो आ चुके हैं मार्केट में। अगर आप इसको गूगल करेंगे और पूछेंगे कि व्हाट आर सम एग्जांपल्स ऑफ लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल्स, आई एम श्योर कि आपको बहुत लंबी लिस्ट मिल जाएगी। और मजे की बात यह है कि नए नए मॉडल्स आ रहे हैं मार्केट में, और ये मॉडल्स और इम्प्रूव हो रहे हैं और अलग अलग चीजें कर पा रहे हैं। कि जैसे जो सबसे पहला मॉडल ओपन एआई ने निकाला था वो था चैट जीपीटी। उसके बाद ओपन एआई ने डाली करके मॉडल निकाला जो जिससे वो ये करते थे, इमेजेस क्रिएट करते थे। उसके बाद उन्होंने सोरा करके मॉडल निकाला जिससे वो वीडियोस बनाते थे। अगेन आपका इनपुट वर्ड्स में है, आप उसको कह रहे हो मेरे को एक इमेज दो जिसमें एक रोबोट बना हुआ है और जो सॉकर खेल रहा है या फुटबॉल खेल रहा है, और वो समझता है और उसने उस वैसी इमेज बना दी। और फिर आपको उसको कहने लगे चलिए अब मेरे को एक वीडियो बना के दीजिए जहां पे 3 रोबोट्स आपस में वॉलीबॉल खेल रहे हैं, तो फिर वो उस हिसाब से वीडियो बना के दे सकता है आपको। तो उसकी जो समझने की क्षमता है वो काफी बढ़ गई है पिछले 3-4 साल में ही, और ये आगे भी बढ़ता जा रहा है, ये इम्प्रूव हो रहा है इस हद तक कि जैसे क्लॉड का जो एग्जाम्पल है लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल का, वो इस हद तक समझता है कि आप क्या करना चाहते हैं। और अगर आप कोई प्रोग्राम बनाना चाहते हैं, आप चाहते हैं कि वो एप्लीकेशन बनानी है, ये वेबसाइट बनानी है, वो बहुत जल्दी समझ के आपके लिए वो बना सकता है। इनफैक्ट यूएसओ आज की डेट में लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल यूज करके हम एप्लीकेशन बना रहे हैं इन रिएक्ट। तो अगेन इसके बारे में हम थोड़ा और बताएंगे आपको आगे के आने वाले थोड़े बहुत सेशंस में।
So I think one of the things that I would request all those who are joining us is, this is a series. Not all your questions will get answered in one shot. Let us go through the presentation. The questions that are coming up will most likely be answered in this. This is the introductory webinar series. So इससे तो हम foundation set कर रहे हैं ताकि हम समझ सकें कि AI क्या है, कहाँ use होता है, और generic information. As we go along in our webinar series, हम लोग अलग-अलग topics use करेंगे, and we will take those topics so that the understanding is widened. So we have already spoken about, तो आपने just recap, those who have just joined us, we have gone through AI क्या है, और AI पिछले 70 years के आसपास से हमारे I mean was existed, लेकिन हम अभी यूज करना हमने स्टार्ट किया है because of large language models. Large language models के through we can use words. हम लोग words use करके AI से कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं। इसका एक एग्जाम्पल है चैट जीपीटी, इसका एक एग्जाम्पल है गूगल जेमिनाई, और ये हर एक लैंग्वेज में काम करता है। सो यूएसओ में भी हमने यूज किया है कभी कभी इंग्लिश से हिंदी या दूसरे रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस में ट्रांसलेट करने के लिए, ताकि हम उसको so that we can reach the other schools, and we have also used it. So this is more interactive in a session. So fine, moving along, Nikhil sir. So just to sort of, put this all in a just to bring everything together. So what you're saying is AI is all around us.
हाँ जी,
knowingly or unknowingly we are using AI, है ना?
बिल्कुल
जानो या ना जानो हम लोग सब AI तो इनडायरेक्टली या डायरेक्टली यूज कर ही रहे हैं। अब आप थोड़े से एग्जांपल्स हमें बताइए इसके कैसे हो सकते हैं।
बिल्कुल। तो अगर आपने गूगल मैप्स यूज किया है, इफ यू एवर यूज गूगल मैप्स, देन यू आर यूजिंग एआई, बिकॉज
हम्म
गूगल मैप्स अंडरस्टैंड्स कि where what is your source, what is the destination. It has made a plan to get there based upon the input it is getting from you in terms of your speed, how you are at what speed you are going, where you are stopping, where you are not able to move forward. उसके हिसाब से taking that input from you and from thousands of other users, it is able to combine that together and show you where the traffic is shown in red, or where it is yellow, or where it is green, right? It is able to predict the traffic patterns. It is also able to show you the different ways you can get from your from one point to another. This is all using artificial intelligence because it has understood what is your goal. Your goal is to go from point A to point B, and you want to get there in the fastest way possible. And that is what it is trying to do, identify the various ways that you can go or change your route midway if we feel that there's a blockage in one place. So that is an example of artificial intelligence that is in your pocket today. You're using it every day. We talked about video suggestions of YouTube in a little more detail just now. This is the way it works. Again, it is machine learning. If YouTube identifies that you as a user are interested in a certain topic and you showcase interest in that particular topic again and again, it will suggest to you that kind of topic again. That is the whole aspect of recommendations. And this is true of not just YouTube, but any other social media channel. If you are somebody who likes to watch videos on dance, then you'll realize that it will continues to show you recommendations of dance related videos only. That is the way it works. So while it has a challenge that it goes in a particular direction, right? You have to give it a different input. If you want to see suggestions of, let's say, videos on math, then you'll have to ask for it specifically, right? You put it in the search box, ask for it, then it will show you. And the next time when you open it up, it will continue to show you videos of dance, but it'll also show you some suggestions or some recommendations of math related videos also. So it understands over a period of time what kind of interests you have, and it'll show you a combination of those particular interests. Instagram is again another social media channel. Facebook is another social media channel. All of these, Snapchat, all of these social media channels that are out there, social media platforms that are out there, have a similar kind of principle, which is they identify who is this person, who is the user that is using this particular platform, what are their interests, what are their likes and dislikes, what can we show them in order to keep the engagement level up, because their interest is in making sure that you come to the platform again and again and continue to use their platform more and more. So that is why they will continue to show you things that that you like watching. If, for example, I don't want to watch something on, let's say, videos on chemistry, right? I will never search for it, right? And a social media channel will identify that, okay, this person is somebody who likes physics, who likes biology, but doesn't really like chemistry. So we'll only show them those kinds of videos that they like or images that they like, right? So here are some examples of how you can you are using AI today, whether you like it, whether you knew about it or not.
So Netflix also uses this, because I realize that if I watch, I mean, I watch Netflix, and I'm sure बहुत सारे हैं जो Netflix and Jio and Amazon Prime ये सब देखते हैं. And I realize कि मैंने एक वीडियो अगर देख लिया या एक शो देख लिया, so वो it gives me recommendations that more like this or something like this because you watched, and then it'll tell you the name of the show that you watched. I love to watch legal dramas. So then I get suggestions on all legal dramas that are out there. So that is also another form of AI.
That's correct. And Netflix is an interesting example because Netflix is a type of AI that is used by multiple people within the same family. And as we know that different people can have different different likes and
Interests.
dislikes, right? So for example, there was this one time, now I like action movies. So my Netflix recommendations are all about action movies. There was this one time when my kids started using my Netflix account to watch Korean soap operas. And after that, I started getting recommendations of Korean dramas along with action movies, right? So Netflix doesn't know that it's one person or four people that are using that particular platform for that particular device, whether it be the TV or the phone. All it sees is patterns of usage, right? And based upon that, it takes those various inputs and provides you with those kind of recommendations.
I see. That's very, very interesting. And I'm sure everybody is now going to be more careful and will probably keep an eye out on what forms of AI they use. So shall we, you wanted to conduct an activity, Nikhil sir. So shall we do an activity?
Sure, let's do this. So go ahead and, all right. So why don't you tell us, based upon what we just talked about, which of these actually use AI? You have 10 seconds to answer in the chat.
And you can just type 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just type the numbers. It'll save us time.
Yeah.
So
the
we'll
calculator,
wait.
2 Google Maps, 3 Netflix, and 4 alarm clock. I think we've given you a lot of clues, so this should be a simple activity for you. But let's give 10-15 seconds to everybody to answer. And you let me know what kind of answers we're getting, mostly.
Absolutely. The team is working on it. तो हम बता देंगे कि कौन सा answer आ रहा है. And while, of course, the students and teachers are typing the answers, you've brought about a very, I think, some insightful comments that will stay with me is that AI existed 70 years ago. The fact that Netflix is also using AI, and the fact that indirectly, of course, when we use Google Maps, that's data that is collated from several users. तभी तो Google Maps हमें बता सकता है कि यहाँ traffic jam
You're giving out
है.
the answer here.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That was unintentional. But I also want to add, while we are here on it, that we also have USO national test, जो national level पे conduct होता है. This information and a lot more is in our IT and AI books, which have been authored by Nikhil sir for us. And this is just to spread and increase awareness on AI among students. It is a very, very nice and liquid world of AI. और ये grow करेगा. तो जितना हमारे पास इंफॉर्मेशन रहेगी, हम लोग बेटर प्रिपेयर्ड रहेंगे फ्यूचर के लिए भी. तो आप सब थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्ट इसमें लेके इसकी अवेयरनेस इंक्रीज हो जाए. दैट्स आवर एम. एंड आई थिंक विद दैट वी आर सॉर्ट ऑफ out of time. So if all of you have submitted your responses. So Nikhil sir, responses are as follows. A lot of them have said 2 and 3. And majority of them have said option number 2, which is Google Maps. And then a lot of those have others. The second position is Netflix. And there have been around 6 or 7 respondents who have said all. So now, can you give out the answer? At least I think we all are dying to know ki answer kya hai.
Sure. So I think you already gave out the answers to some people, right? We already talked about Google Maps, and we have given that example a couple of times. We also talked about Netflix. So I think that was very obvious. Yes, both Google Maps and Netflix are examples of AI. Here's the fun part. Calculator. Like we talked about, AI at the very beginning was very simple in its format, just like traffic signals are a form of AI. Similar to that, The calculator also is a type of very simple earlier version of AI because it follows a certain set of business rules. It follows a certain circuit that it does not evolve over a period of time. So it is one of those initial forms of technology usage that are classified under artificial intelligence. Regarding the alarm clock, if we are talking about a manual alarm clock or a mechanical alarm clock, then yes, it is not AI, right? There's no technology involved there. But if we are talking about a digital alarm clock, which uses circuits, then just like traffic lights and calculators, it is a particular piece of technology that follows certain business rules. So again, it is a form of initial AI. So this was a little trick question, but I think most of you got Google Maps and Netflix correctly. But the correct answer is all of the above, depending on the context, of course, of the alarm clock.
So all of them, the answers all are using AI. That's an
That's right. All of the above.
That's
Different different forms of AI. Again, there are certain earlier versions of AI that are being used in some of these, and certain more modern versions of AI that are being used in others.
Mhm. That's very interesting because we have been using the calculator for several years and the alarm clock as well. So it truly was right जब आपने कहा कि AI is all around us, हर जगह है, हमें बस पता नहीं है कि हम लोग कौन सी चीज को AI के थ्रू यूज कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. So just to sort of recap, Nikhil sir, AI हमारे लिए क्या क्या कर सकता है for students and teachers?
So we'll get into this in a little more detail. So why don't we move over to the next few slides? Because AI can do a lot for us, right? We'll give you some examples and we'll show you how it can help answer questions or write content and how it can help you explain concepts. So if you can just move forward quickly, please.
Right. So I'll go to the next slide because जैसे आपने कहा AI can do all of these, लेकिन वो कैसे करेगा और हम कैसे उसे बताएं कि क्या करना चाहिए? How do we tell it what to do? कि हमें what is it that we want?
So you've probably heard this term before called prompt engineering. Prompt engineering basically is how to best write a prompt. A prompt is the sets of instructions that you're giving to the AI engine, whether it is ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, and you're asking it to do certain things in a clear manner, right? So that it gives you the information that you need. Keep in mind, the context here is very important. The more detailed explanation, the more detailed and clear instructions you are able to give the AI, the better the response for what you are looking for to do. That's one aspect. The other key aspect is try different things, try different prompts, iterate on your thought process, go deeper, go broader, and test it out. Test out your prompts differently. That is how you will get to know what works for you and what gives you a much better result.
So what that means is prompt engineering तो set of instructions हुए. हम उसे बोलते हैं कि करना क्या है, right?
Of course.
और वो English में बोल रहे हैं. We are saying that in actual written language, English हो या हिंदी हो या ऐसे कुछ.
I probably predominantly use English, but of course, the LLMs have evolved to a certain extent that you can use them in regional languages also. It is the results are not all that great yet, क्योंकि हिंदी या मराठी या बंगाली को अभी वो समझ नहीं पा रहा है लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल्स. अब वो पूरी तरह से नहीं समझ पाते, लेकिन हाँ कि कुछ रिस्पॉन्सेज मिल जाते हैं आसानी से. And we can go through an example of that.
जी, so I think we'll all be keen to see कि ये live demo अगर हो सकता है तो कि कैसे करें. तो would you be sharing your screen, sir?
I will share my screen and let me know when you can see it.
Yes, we can see your screen, sir.
Okay, wonderful. So I am using here ChatGPT, which I'm sure everybody uses, right? So I will ask ChatGPT a very simple query. First of all, I'll show you which is not a very good prompt. I'm asking, saying, explain photosynthesis in simple terms. Okay. It goes through that quickly. It gives me the answer, what plants need, da da da. Okay. Very basic question, right? But let us assume that I still didn't understand it, right? So I'm going to make it specific to my needs. Here's a better way for me to ask the question. Explain photosynthesis in simple terms so that a grade 6 student can understand.
And the grade is the standard?
Yes, grade or
6
standard.
student?
Well, I use the terms interchangeably. I can say standard 6 or grade 6. I'm using grade here. Then I'm going to also say provide diagrams to explain, because I am a visual learner. I like to see diagrams. It helps me understand better. And also recommend videos.
Will it also help with spelling if we have misspelled?
The context. In certain cases it does, in certain cases it doesn't. So that's why it's important to make sure that you are putting in the right spellings.
Okay.
So here I have put this in, right? If you see, these are the explanation is the prompt is a little more detailed than last time. So here now what it has done, it has given me the information it gave me before in terms of what plants use, what do they produce. Now it has given me a step-by-step process. It is also giving me a very basic example, a diagram, right? What happens outside and what happens inside the leaf. And it is also giving me certain videos. Here's a video I can watch on YouTube to get a simple explanation. So you see that once I have changed the prompt, once I have given a more detailed prompt, I am getting a much better response that is relevant for my needs. And this is an example of how we can use large language models or any other ChatGPT or Google Gemini to give us a much better response.
I see. So in that case, we have to be careful about the instructions. It's like saying in schools ke jab question paper mein hota tha ki answer the following, and then saying answer the following in one sentence, ya answer the following in matlab jaise bhi in a paragraph. I think so we have to be specific in that sense.
That's right.
I see. So I think that is valuable for us so that we can give the right instructions to ChatGPT as well. क्योंकि ChatGPT तो वही करेगा जो हमने उसे बताया है. तो हम जितने specific होंगे, उतना better हमारे पास response आएगा. So it'll give better answers when we ask better questions or give it better prompts. तो prompt तो यही हुई ना sir? Prompt is what we are asking it to do, correct?
That is right.
So prompt engineering क्यों कहते हैं? इसमें engineers की तो जरूरत नहीं है.
इसमें engineers की जरूरत नहीं है. The point we are trying to make here is you have to think about the topic, right? And you have to frame the question in a way so that you are getting the best response possible. That is the why it is talked about in the form of engineering. क्योंकि जब हम engineering करते हैं तो we have to think about how the response will work and what kind of output we require, and the more detailed information we can provide about an output, the closer it gets to the stream of engineering.
Okay, so bringing it back to the context of schools, because this is aimed for schools that we are conducting this. So can you just help us understand, there are several teachers who have joined us online and there are various students as well who have joined us online. But specifically speaking about teachers, whether they are primary or whether they are high school teachers, how is it that teachers can use AI?
So I know we are short of time today. So we'll try to answer this question in a very brief manner. But keep in mind that we will have a special session for teachers. So we will go into this topic in more detailed manner. We will also have a special session for students specifically. So we'll go into a lot more detail in terms of how you can use AI to help both learn as well as make your life easier, right? So coming back to the topic of teachers, how can teachers use AI? Teaching is one aspect of the job, right? Then there are a lot of administrative activities that teachers are also burdened with. And that is where AI can help the most, right? For example, teachers have to write emails to maybe to the administration, to parents, to outside organizations like USO. And as part of writing those emails, you can use ChatGPT, you can use Google Gemini, you can use all these AI models in order to improve the language of the email and and make it more specific to what you're asking it to do. Another way to use AI is to improve the quality of learning by being able to create customized lesson plans for certain students, by creating reflection questions in a very quick manner. You don't have to create everything from scratch. You can ask it to create something. And again, keep in mind that some of these AI models learn from what you've done. So if you're a math teacher, you can specify that I am a math teacher teaching maths to grade 6 and 7, and I want to create reflection questions for this grade. And based upon that, you can go iteratively work with it to create a whole set of interactive quizzes or reflection questions. In terms of customized lesson plans, sometimes it happens that some student has joined us midway through a session, right, from a different school, and you feel that they're lagging behind. There are certain concepts that they need to cover. So you can create a customized lesson plan using AI for those particular students to focus on those specific topics that they need to work on in order to be on par with the rest of the class. Another way that teachers can use AI is to explore different videos. There are lots of different fun exercises, experiments that can be created in a very simple manner to help explain certain complex topics to children. There are other ways that teachers are using AI as a counselor, right, to help certain children, especially in senior classes, understand what kind of careers they should be considering. So there are so many different ways that we are seeing teachers use AI, and there are lots of different tools also out there. For example, Khanmigo is a very good tool that has been created by Khan Academy, and it's available to you free of cost, right? Again, as we like I said, we are short of time today, but we will be going through this in a lot more detail. We'll be sharing with you a whole list of different tools that you can use, that you can play around with to make your life easier.
So then in that case, AI is a very valuable tool because it helps us with a lot of things. It helps us and assists us in generating emails. If we wanted to enhance language, let's say, in our communication, it does that. If we want support in an activity or something, it helps us with that too. So is it completely perfect, or is there some things that we should keep in mind?
So AI is certainly not perfect. Again, keep in mind that AI can make mistakes. Since the principle of AI is based upon machine learning, it is based upon the data that it has been given, right? You might find that most of the models out there are are biased towards American English, right? Not necessarily the kind of Indian English that we use in India. It's a very simple example, color. In India, we write color as COLOUR, but in American English, it is written as COLOR. So once you start interacting with AI, you'll realize, oh, it is giving me responses using certain language that is not necessarily accurate in the Indian context. So that is always the case. Since it is based upon data that has been provided to it, and in certain cases, it might have been given incorrect information. It might have picked up information from sources that are not necessarily verifiable or not necessarily correct. In those cases, it can make mistakes. So it is very important to make sure that you always verify whatever output AI provides you.
So, how do we make sure that students are also on the call here? And of course, AI does not replace anything and everything that we learn or has on our knowledge. So, how can students use AI responsibly?
So there are a lot of use cases that that students can do, right? And we will go into a lot more detail there in terms of how I see a lot of students right now, including my own kids, have been using AI to generate a lot of content, especially when they have to provide a particular school report. They are using AI to generate that report for them. I would not advise that as a correct use of AI. So the whole idea of homework along with classwork is to make sure that there is certain repetition of work that is going on. And it is through this repetition that we learn better. It is only when we struggle through a particular concept that we grow and we learn those particular concepts. If you depend fully on AI, you will not understand the concepts. And when it comes to the exam time, remember, you cannot use AI in exam time. It is all dependent on your memory, on your understanding of the concepts and your application of those concepts. And that is not something that AI can help you with. So you'll be stuck. So don't do things like that, that you are using AI to just get through a particular homework assignment or a book report or something like that. And you're like, okay, I'm done now. I'll go and play with my friends. Then you're missing out on the opportunity to learn, right? You should certainly use AI to understand certain topics that you are not able to understand, right? Maybe the teacher explained it to you, you are not paying attention, and you have missed out on certain things, or you were late to class, whatever it could be. You can go on to AI, you can ask it to explain. Like I said, change the prompts, try different prompts and see what works for you so that you're able to understand those concepts. Use it to generate ideas. Use it to figure out what are the various applications of certain concepts. For example, we all learn about trigonometry, right? But ask AI, what are the actual practical life examples of trigonometry? That way you'll understand that what are some of the careers where you can use some of these particular concepts that you're learning, right? Same thing goes for every concept that you learn, differential calculus, integral calculus, whatever it is.
So just to reiterate, जो हमें who are online watching us, AI को आप यूज कीजिए कॉन्सेप्ट समझने के लिए. आप AI को यूज कर सकते हैं थोड़ा सा आइडियाज जनरेट करने के लिए, पर अपना होमवर्क प्लीज कॉपी पेस्ट मत कीजिएगा क्योंकि इससे आपका ही लॉस है. यू आर लूजिंग आउट ऑन दैट. नॉलेज जो है वो आपकी रहेगी सालों साल. फुली डिपेंड हमने AI पे नहीं करना है, हमने अपने आप भी सोचना समझना है क्योंकि AI हमेशा सही जवाब नहीं देता. सो इट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप वैलिडेट करें जो AI ने आपको दिया है, और आप वैलिडेट तभी कर सकते हैं जब आपकी नॉलेज थोड़ी उसमें हो. So that's a very, very valuable insight. So anything that you would like for the teachers and students who are, at least the students who are online, to try by themselves?
Of course, I will also give you homework. So after this webinar, try it out, right? Use certain prompts, like we are giving you a couple of prompts here, explain gravity and 5 benefits of water conservation. These are very simple prompts. Try putting these prompts in different language. Ask for more detail. Ask for it to explain it for a grade 3 student or a grade 6 student or a grade 12 student. You'll see the difference in terms of the responses, the outputs that you get, right? Ask it to include videos and audio and images. That way you'll get much better responses. See how it responds, play around with it and experiment.
That's, I'm sure everybody will try to do this, and they can use ChatGPT as a medium for this, Nikhil sir?
ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Anthropic Claude, plenty of tools out there. Use whatever you feel comfortable with. Try different tools. Try putting the same question in Claude as well as Perplexity. See if you get this different responses. See which response you like better.
Nice. Fine. That's wonderful. Thank you, Nikhil sir, for that insightful session. And just to give everybody a recap, आज हमने ये सीखा है कि what is AI? AI exactly क्या है? कहाँ हम use करते हैं? Where is it used? How does AI help in learning? And we have to use it responsibly. These are 4 key takeaways आज के webinar से. It's very, very important कि we understand कि AI को बस copy paste नहीं करना है. Please थोड़ा सा reflect कीजिए इन सब जो भी responses AI से भी आ रहे हैं. So now for all of those who are online, one homework that USO is giving you. Nikhil sir already gave you a homework, but USO is also giving you a homework. There is a quiz. It's a short quiz. It is just for you to grow your knowledge, and it is just for you to see how much you've understood from this webinar. So this is the QR code. You can scan the QR code to attempt the quiz. It is not a very long quiz. It'll take maybe between anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes if you have paid good attention to the webinar. And it is all to do with the webinar that you have just attended. So you can identify some AI examples, real life examples, and it's just to test your basic knowledge. तो आप प्लीज उसको लीजिएगा. ये क्विज की लिंक हम लोग ईमेल और व्हाट्सएप से भी शेयर करेंगे registered schools के साथ. So this will be shared via WhatsApp and email as well. And if you like, and for those of you who are at home and want to take the quiz right away, those, the students who are keen on that can scan the QR code. And there is a last date for the quiz. There is a deadline for April 15th. After that, the quiz will be taken out online. So you will not be able to attempt it. So great way for you. It's not for marking at all. There is no marks in this. This is just for your knowledge. Answers will be revealed as soon as you take the quiz. So it will be easy for you to see कि आपके कौन से गलत थे responses. So please do take the quiz. And just a closing thought, Nikhil sir, what would you say is a closing thought for all of this?
I would say AI is not necessarily a future technology. Yes, it will evolve. It will have an impact on whatever future career you decide, but it is the present. It is already here and it is evolving at a very fast speed. So learn about it, play with it, get more comfortable with it, and learn to use it wisely.
So before we let you go, Nikhil, sir, one question that we have received, which is an interesting one. Is there a problem that AI can solve, that we are assuming that AI can solve, but it cannot actually solve yet?
Is there a problem that we are assuming AI
Human
can solve?
assumes AI can solve, but it actually can't yet. So I think that's a very broad and deep, very, very broad question, because I think all the data that has been input in AI has been by humans.
That's right. Again, AI can help solve certain problems that have a certain boundaries. Whenever human behavior comes into the picture, though, things change, right?
Yes.
Because there is no data that can help you predict how certain people will behave. So, for example, if you ask AI, how will Donald Trump behave? Nobody can tell you how that's going to look like, right? What new announcement will he come up with tomorrow? I don't think any AI engine can predict that.
I see. Well, all right. Thank you very much, Nikhil, sir, for that insightful session, and for taking the time and putting it into a format which is easy for all of us lay people like even me to understand. We are certainly not in the AI field, so sessions like these help increase our knowledge on what is happening now, so that we don't feel overwhelmed. So thank you very much for that.
So thank you for the opportunity. It has been my pleasure, and I will continue to meet you again and again, and we will go into a lot more detail into some of the topics. Today was just a very high-level introductory session. We will make sure that we go into a lot more detail in terms of use cases for students, use cases for teachers, the tools, what works better for one aspect versus others, if you're somebody who's interested in coding, or if you're somebody who's interested in designing, how to best use those tools. So we'll go into all those details.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Nikhil, sir. So for all of all of us who are online on YouTube, just to let you know what's next, our next webinar will be AI tools for schools. And this will be on 9th of May, which is the second Saturday in the month of May from 11 a.m., 11 to 12. So another hour session for AI tool for schools. So I would highly suggest that all of you not miss it. Whether you're a teacher or a student, this will definitely help you. And it'll take you a step closer in our AI journey together. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Nikhil, sir. Thank you to all the teachers. Thank you to all the students. If there are some school leaders who have also joined us online, thank you for taking the time. And we truly appreciate you taking a proactive step in your learning to learn more about AI. And we'll see you all back in May. So once again, enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon. Thank you once again.